Class is in session. We are going to pasta school today because cooking those noodles is not as simple as you might think. There's a method to perfectly cooked pasta. Elena Davis is our authentic Italian teacher today. Did you hear my story earlier in the show about flinging pasta noodles at the wall?
I pretty much closed my ears and pretend like I didn't hear that, but that's why I'm here.
This is
glad we're going to clear this
I have
up.
to work with? Okay, so we're not flinging noodles at the wall.
No,
okay.
no. This is a much better method that you can use every time. And in case you get lost in the process, it's all written in a very clear blog post. So I'm going to go through a lot of things right now.
Okay.
But it's all written down.
Good.
So we are going to start with a large pot of cold water.
Cold.
You don't want it, you think, oh, I'm going to speed it up using hot water. There's a lot of minerals and added things in your hot water system that you don't want when you are boiling water.
I didn't know that.
Yes, so don't think you're cutting a corner.
Okay, a bigger pot than we might think.
Yes, a bigger pot that you might think, especially when you're cooking spaghetti. And it's a rule in Italy, you never want to break your spaghetti.
Why?
But that's because it takes out the nature of them being long and it goes into your sauce. And so it's also kind of like one of those pasta rules.
Superstition even?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
all
we
right.
just don't do it.
Okay.
But so we have our large pot and we want to bring it to a boil. When it is boiling, it's okay to put the lid on it. When you're cooking the pasta, you actually never want to cook pasta with the lid.
I'm going to say why a million times.
Okay.
Why?
Yes, so you don't want that because you still want your pasta water to be boiling. You want your short pasta or long spaghetti to be swimming in the pasta.
Okay.
You put a lid on it, it's just going to overflow. It's going to steam inside, and it's not going to evaporate and bubble exactly like it's supposed to when the lid is off while it's cooking.
Okay. So I was going to ask if you're cooking spaghetti, and I don't say it nearly as cute as Elena does, but I guess the key would be the big pot might answer my question. But if you've got a gas stove, how do you keep the hangover from like burning or torching once it starts to curl?
So we'll see that. I'll show you in a minute. But basically, you're gonna push it down as it starts cooking. Yeah. So that's why a lot of people break it.
Right.
You want a large pot, and the exact amounts are actually on my spoon here. But it's 4 quarts of water, 2 tablespoons of salt. You heard that right. 2 tablespoons of salt per 1 pound of pasta. So you're going to. This is also measurements for spaghetti.
Look at that. Look how cool.
I'm making for 2 today.
I love that.
Yes. So, so this is your measurement. It also reminds you your water to salt to pasta ratio that you can adjust if you're not making, a pound.
We get that on your website?
Yes.
Cool.
This is actually made in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Love it.
100% wood. You can purchase
such
this on
a
my
cool
website.
tool. All right, the water is salty.
Okay, it's not salted yet.
Oh, not yet.
So here's the thing. You want to make sure it is boiling. Don't add the salt at the beginning before your water boils.
Okay.
If you do that, it will actually ruin your pans.
Oh.
Because the minerals of the salt will stick down on the bottom. So you want it nice and...
I was an F student before you came into my life today. Okay.
We're slowly going to the B, C, D.
Good.
We're going up.
Good.
Okay. So right now I'm just doing 1 tablespoon. I'm doing a little less pasta for us today. And so I'm not doing a full pound. So I have that going and it's going to slow down the boil a little bit. I'm going to wait till it comes back to a roaring boil right now. And I've already measured my spaghetti and I'm going to drop them in. Okay. As I drop them in, I'm pushing down the sides. And it'll just take a minute. And there you go. People get all worried. Oh my gosh, that top part's not going to cook evenly. Or,
but if your water's to the proper temperature.
Or I have to break them. Yes.
Yeah.
The water has to be at a roaring boil. It is a lot better for cooking pasta al dente, which we'll get to in just a minute.
Yeah.
So I also love this. I just set it right here.
Slick.
It just fits on any pan. So
nice.
I've moved it around a little bit. I'm gonna keep coming to moving this around and I'm gonna let it cook while stirring it. Al dente is usually a minute or so before the package directions. And al dente is not undercooked. It doesn't mean raw. It just means that if you let your pasta, it means to the tooth, so it has a little bit of a bite. It should not have a white center, so you always taste test your pasta, and it should be very flavorful from the salt. Okay, so you flavor your pasta from your inside out. If you only add salt after, it's like adding salt to your chicken after instead of before. You want to season it from the inside out.
Do we rinse our pasta?
Okay, never.
Never?
No, not even for cold pasta salad. I talk about this in detail in the blog post.
Okay.
But no, that will strip all of the gold, starchy pasta water from the pasta that will allow it to marry with the sauce.
So, and we do hear that water is precious. You're actually using the salted water, the pasta water, in your sauce.
Yes, you can reserve a little bit of the pasta water once enough starches have come out, and you put it in whatever desired sauce. Here we're making sugo al pomodoro. This is my go-to sauce that I have in my freezer. It's just as easy as pulling a can from the cabinet. I have this fresh sauce that I make in bulk, and I freeze it, and I keep it in containers, and I use it for bolognese, for ragu, for lasagna, for all sorts of things, or just as we see here with our short pasta, plain with a little bit of the red sauce and fresh basil.
I have learned so much today. Is this recipe on your website too?
Yes, the recipe is on the website.
How do we connect with you?
Yes, www.cucinabyelena.com. And you can find this there. Also, all of these tips are on Instagram at Cucina by Elena, so please visit with me there. Message me, connect with me. I would absolutely love to hear from you.
Well, you're wonderful and lovely to share your gifts and your talents and your expertise. And as I said, I learned a lot today. So thank you so much. Pasta for lunch, yeah?
Yes.
All right.
Good.
It's always a good day when we can say that.